Hey guys, Mr. Decker here. This is lesson 19, Variables with Artist. We have finished our little mini unit on functions. We're moving on to variables, and variables are placeholders for information, and you use them when that information can change. So having a placeholder for information makes it possible to write a program even when you won't know all of the values that you're going to be using until later. So let's get into this. Let's jump over to our assignment page here. We've got two computer science standards we're covering in this assignment. Create programs that use variables to store and modify data. That's where the variables come in. And then decomposing or breaking down problems into smaller, manageable subproblems to facilitate the program development process. Our essential question for this lesson: what is a variable and why is it helpful in programming? Well, just a little earlier you heard me say that a variable is a placeholder for information that can change. And oftentimes you use a variable because information will change, can change, and the values will be changing. So why is this helpful in programming? It's helpful because, well, it simplifies your program similar to the way functions and loops work, but instead of running the same numbers over and over again, the numbers might change, and that's why a variable becomes helpful in programming. All right, so remember that watching the video that you're already watching is mandatory, and don't forget to use best practices while going through this lesson, and make sure that you are answering the essential question, which is right here. And you do that by opening up the or clicking the Submit Assignment button at the top right up here, and you will answer the question with 2 to 3 sentences in a text box entry. But don't do that until you have done the entire lesson. All right, so let's jump in here. It says, let's draw an equilateral triangle. It has to be exactly 50 pixels long on each side. An equilateral triangle, all right, so Mr. Decker doing math again, geometry. So an equilateral triangle, it's the same length on all 3 sides. And if it's the same length on all 3 sides, that means that the angle that we'll be turning will be the same each time as well. So let's draw this equilateral triangle. We're going to use the repeat 3 times because we've got 3 sides. We're going to move forward by 50 pixels, and we're going to turn, well, let's see what direction he goes first. And we're going to turn left 120 degrees. There we go. All right, let's continue. Bubble 2. Now use another loop to draw 3 of those triangles right next to each other. You can nest the code from your last puzzle inside. So let's use a repeat loop and another repeat loop. Because we're drawing 3 triangles, that's the point of this repeat loop, and our triangles have 3 sides, that's the point of that repeat loop. So he's going to move forward, and then he's going to turn left 120 degrees. Let's see if that will draw the whole thing. Nope, it only draws the first triangle. So what should I do? Let's see. Let's try that. Oh yeah, so I was able to fix it by adding move forward by 50 pixels inside this repeat loop, but outside of that one. All right, let's continue. On to bubble 3. On bubble 3, it says, in this lesson, variables are placeholders for information that can change. Having a placeholder makes it possible to write a program even when you won't know all of your values until later. our block to know, this is a variable block, so it says set first number to 2. And that's subject to change later, and you'll see what I mean. I think we've got a video to watch. Yep.
A variable is a container that you can store a value in. When you use that variable in an algorithm, it opens up the container and looks at the value inside. This lets you write smarter algorithms that behave differently depending on the values stored in the variable. For example, if you wanted to write an algorithm to say, "Happy birthday, you're turning 10," to my little brother, that's great now, but when I run it next year, I'd want it to say, "Happy birthday, you're turning 11." I could create a variable called age to store my brother's age and write my algorithm to say, "Happy birthday, you're turning age" instead. Because variables can change, each year I can update the variable age to equal age plus 1.
In this puzzle, we're going to be using a variable that will set the length of the line our artist draws. Later on in our code, the move forward block will look at that length variable to see what value you've set it to.
All right. Very good explanation of what variables are and how they can be used in programming. Okay, bubble 5. We have set the variable length to 50. What will happen when you click run? All right, so let's see. Our answer options are A, the artist will draw a triangle with 50 pixel sides. The artist will draw a 50-sided polygon with 3 pixel sides. The artist will draw 3 open sides with 50-degree turns, or D, I don't know. All right, so let's look at our code here. So we have a variable here, set length to 50. Well, let's look for where that variable gets used in the code. It's used right here in this move forward block. So this length right here, every time that gets used, and it looks like it'll get used 3 times from this repeat loop, it will be 50 pixels. So it's going to move forward 50 pixels and then turn left by 120 degrees. Now we've learned that a triangle has 3 sides, right? Yeah, okay. And that's why it's repeating 3 times. The length of 50 pixels each time he moves forward, so 50 pixels, 50 pixels, 50 pixels. And we know it's going to make a triangle by the number of degrees that he's going to turn, so 120 degrees each time, right? So I'm going to say the artist will draw a triangle with 50 pixel sides. And I was right. Let's continue, bubble 6. All right, let's see. On bubble 6, it says, before things get tricky, can you move the length of 50 into a variable so we can use it in the next few puzzles? Okay, so let's create a variable. Let's set the length to 50, just like that. So it's already made for us. All you had to do is pull it out here at the top of your code. So now we have move forward by blank pixels. Let's put length here. We're setting length, that label of this variable, to 50, and it appears here. So every time the move forward block is used inside this repeat block, it's going to use that variable. And let's use the variable again here. Most excellent. All right, bubble 7. Now use the length variable to have the artist jump forward and down by length pixels between triangles. So we've already got our length variable set up here equal to 50. It says now use the length variable to have the artist jump forward and down by length. So move forward, using those, jump forward and down by length pixels between triangles. So if I just run it as is, he makes the same exact shape we made last time, which was the 3 triangles in a row, that same pattern, but we want him to jump down here. So where should we put the jump forward and down? Let's see. All right, let's build this out. We've got jump forward right here, and it's already got the length variable inside of it. We've got move forward here. Let's see. It's going to repeat this 3 times. We want to leave this the same because that's the part that's drawing our triangle. We're going to leave this as 3 times because we're still drawing 3 triangles. Let's see. Jump forward. I think he'll need to jump instead of just move at this point. Let's see where that puts him. So he's still running the jump forward and this move forward. So I'm going to get rid of this. That didn't fix anything. So let's see. I need him to turn. So let's throw a turn in here. When we're turning left, and I'm going to change this value to 90. That made an interesting pattern. Not what I wanted to accomplish, though. Let's see. Jump forward by length, I think might be my next one. Let's see what happens. Whoop. Okay, so now he's actually jumping out and drawing individual triangles apart from each other. Let's throw another turn left in here and see if that gets him where he needs to go by 90. Nope, but it does draw an interesting pattern. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. So move forward by length. Left by 120 degrees. It's drawing our triangle. Jump forward by length. Turn left. Ooh, maybe I should be turning right here. And then left. Jump forward by length. Let's try that. I think that might be my issue. Yeah, okay. So I just turned the wrong direction right here was my problem. Let's speed this up. Okay. Bubble 8. Let's see. What are we doing in bubble 8? Looks like we're using some of the code that we've already used. Add another set of loops at the end of your code to add 3 more triangles. This time, move forward and up. Okay. So let's see. Let's think about this. He's got to do 4 triangles down and 2 more up that way. So let's see. All right, so if I run it just as is, he's going to do those 3 and get to right there. So if he's already here by the end of this code running, then I should be able to just do another repeat 3 and another repeat 3 nested inside that. And then I'm going to copy this code right here, move forward, and turn left. Using my variable again. And in this one, I'm going to say, well, let's run that. Okay, so yeah, he does draw that triangle, but now he's drawing it 3 times in the same spot. So we got to get him to move up again. So let's make him turn left by 90 degrees. That was working for our first set of triangles. And then we'll get him to jump forward to go to the next one. Jump forward by length. And then, let's see, turn right, turn left. So this time I think I might be turning right. $90 again. And then I think we'll need to jump forward again to make it up to this one. And length. Let's try it. Awesome. All right, bubble 9. Let's see, for bubble 9, we actually need the triangles to be 60 pixels wide with 60 pixel jumps. Hey, so this is where it gets really easy to fix what we're doing when we're using variables, because now my variables are, or now my triangles are too small and not far enough apart, right? But all I have to do to fix this, or theoretically, is change this to 60. Yeah. So using all the same code that I've already done, and because I'm using this variable over and over and over again throughout my code that I established up here, all I have to do when a change is made to what needs to happen is changing this number. So if I change that to like 75, right? Everything's the same except for the variable number, or the value of the variable. Very cool. I like that. That's a really good explanation of how variables work. So use what you've learned to build this design where the squares have 80 pixel sides and the artist jumps 80 pixels over and down between each one. All right. I suppose we can do that. All right, so let's get this one put together. So first I'm going to set up a variable because we're learning about variables, guys. And it said that 80 pixels. So let's go ahead and set the value of length to 80. And then you can name your variables different things, but I'm just going to leave it as length for now. So these are squares. They all have 4 sides. So we'll start with a 4-time repeat loop. And then we're making 4 squares. That's why it needs to be 4. And then another repeat loop with a 4 because each square has 4 sides. So when we're making our squares, we're going to move forward by 80 pixels, and we're going to turn left by 90 degrees every time we... Whoop. Goodness. Okay, there we go. Now I know I got it in there right. So now he's just drawing 4 circles in the same spot. So I need him to jump forward by 80 pixels. And then let's see. So now he's just drawing 4 squares in a row. So I need him to turn when he makes right after he makes that jump. So he starts making the square here. So turn. I think he needs to turn right by 90 degrees. And let's see what happens. All right, so now he made a plus symbol. So I need to add some more code. He probably needs to jump again. And probably by the same distance, so that 80 pixels tied to this variable up here. Let's see what happens with that. Oop. Whoa, okay, not what we wanted. So he probably needs to turn again to fix that. and probably the opposite direction that we turned right here. Make sure he stays in the same pattern. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, bubble 11, what do we got here? Oh, more on variables. You've just learned one great way to use a variable as a constant. When you use a variable as a constant, you are setting a value one time, then using that same value multiple times in your program without changing it after you click run, right? In the next part of the series, you will write code with variables that do change inside the program. Ooh, okay. So I guess on our next lesson, whatever that might be, we'll be learning how to make even more complicated variables. So always gets more interesting, right? All right, cool. Glad you stuck with me. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. Don't forget to, before I forget, don't forget to come back and answer the essential question over here on the assignment page with a text box entry. Thanks, guys. Hope you're having a good one.